Welcome everybody. I hope you're all having a good one, whatever time it is, wherever you're at in the world. I hope you've had a good one. Today we are in the Group B spec ETKi Series. 450 horsepower for this car, all-wheel drive. Very satisfying car to drive, but as you'll see, not the most maneuverable thing for such a stage. So we find a little bit of curb to help us get turned. This opening tarmac section is surprisingly tricky. Get up to a lot of speed here, and then you want to shrug it all off as you get into this surprisingly tight corner. If you watched yesterday's video, you would have seen I found the wall going the other direction in the old Taz mirror. So we take off our mirror, or just bend it in even. Forgot that that's now a feature. You used to just knock mirrors off, you slightly bumped them, but now, more realistically, to the devs' credit, they just fold in, which is cool. But you know you're getting close to the wall when the mirrors fold in, so we brake for that jump. A lot of the jumps here you'll see me brake for just because this thing's not the lightest car in the world, and it goes very fast. So if you just full send jumps, you're just going to destroy your oil pan, suspension, what have you. This stage overall is very tricky. That's just one of the tricky elements, but there's a lot of shock bumps, and shock isn't shocking, not like shock bump stops in terms of suspension. But yeah, a lot of surprising bumps, I guess is the better way to put it. Tight hairpins, trees, cliffs, lining the track. Usually sheer drop on one side, sheer, I guess, rise on the other. Cliff, whatever you want to call it. I've found plenty of those in trying to get a clean run for y'all. Annoyingly, right at the end of the stage too, right at the 6-minute mark. Both times, twice, not both times, I've done more than 2 attempts at this, but 2 of the times I have crashed right at the end, just because I let my guard down a little bit. And if you do that even the slightest in a car like this, on a stage like this, it's just an immediate crash. You think you're fine, you think you're out of the woods, and then boom, suddenly you are very much in the woods, upside down, and on fire. This is the type of stage that you work with. The stage doesn't work with you. The stage makes the rules on this. Very much so, not you. There's no places to cut, there's no places to take advantage. And there are plenty of places to crash out, including that rock face we just passed to the left. Or that tree to the right. I have hit the rock face. I had not hit that tree yet, but I just got very close. It's a blind jump into that corner. As you can see, more bumps you gotta deal with. Suspension setup's gonna be so tricky for this rally, and I'm so excited to see it. Because in some parts it's super smooth, so you want a very stiff setup. In other parts it's super soft. Then what ride height do you go with, things like that. So we get now onto a little bit of tarmac, just to connect up the 2 dirt roads. Tarmac on gravel tires is always such a tricky thing to manage. Because your brain tells you, oh, it's tarmac, it has more grip than gravel, but in most cases it doesn't. Or it can in certain ways, but like especially with sliding friction compared to gravel, it doesn't have as much. Because in gravel you can kind of sink your tires into the surface, and then they grip that way. Where with pavement, the tires just kind of slide along the top of it. Which is realistic, that's how it works in real life too. Navigate some more blind corners. This is one of the more open and smooth parts of this stage. Which, I mean, when this is the more open and smooth part, you know how rough the rest of the stage is. Let's go across a little creek crossing sort of thing, I guess. I don't know what you call those, little gullies where the water drains from the top of the mountain. I guess it depends on how much it's rained, on what you call it. Speaking of rain too, I'm looking into trying to have some of the stages not run in like full wet conditions, but at least like light rain and some puddles. I can't make the terrain change with like a stage prefab. In terms of like the prefabs load whenever you load a time trial, which includes like all the objects and things like the walls and all sorts. But I can't make terrain changes with that. But I could add like the precipitation just from the sky as part of the prefab, and then add some puddles and things. So I'm experimenting with that, as well as looking into making it foggier and things like that. I think we bent our wheel just barely brushing that rock. Sometimes it's all it takes to knock your wheel out of alignment. And then as soon as your car's a little bit more weird to drive, it just breeds more mistakes. Doesn't feel too bad right now, but it definitely feels like it's a little bit towed out in the right rear. No fun car facts for this car today. It's mostly just based on the Audi Quattro. I guess there are some fun facts, because the Audi Quattro initially started as a Group 4 car, not a Group B car, which is kind of cool. I think it only did 1 year Group 4, maybe 2. It was very successful as a Group 4 car too. Very little difference between the Group 4 and the early Group B versions. So we're going to concentrate here as we get right up near where I went off. In fact, it was that corner. It's faster than you think it is. But yeah. And then the Audi also, they had a Group A version of, I think it was the Audi 90 by that point. But it was so bad that Audi only ever did 1 year and then they gave up. But yeah, coming right to the end of the stage now. As we find a little bit of a ditch. Forgot where that road went. Yellow boards indicating we're close to the finish. Very smooth road. I'm not used to how smooth it is. And finish. Back out into cinematic cam. Get a good look at the car. Very little damage. I think literally the only damage I picked up was the direct hit to the wheel on the right side. Hopefully the cinematic cam will show us. I'll just back out here. Yeah, just ever so slightly, a little bit of toe. It's so hard to tell, but there is just a little bit there that I could feel in the controller. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that stage, and hopefully you guys are looking forward to this mod when it comes out. But for now, I will catch you guys later and hopefully see you tomorrow for tomorrow's stage.